Whenever.
All right, here we go. To get back to the issue of the digital divide, I think it's important to, the metaphor that we always use is between sand and glass. And how, when people talk about the information highway, we're really talking about sand. What is done with the information highway, what is done with information, the construction, how information changes into knowledge, either at individual or group level, is how we see the issue. We at the Cultural Center see the issue of the digital divide. And let me go back and talk about the information highway, because it's a well-known metaphor that's been in use 10, 15 years now. And people talk about on-ramps and off-ramps being one of the particularities of the digital divide. The digital divide is pretty much defined as minority or third world or people of color not having access at the same rate or at the same bandwidth. It's one of the secondary effects of the digital divide to the information superhighway, the internet and World Wide Web. We would argue that the cost of access is going down so rapidly from one year to the next that now you can walk into a computer store, buy a complete computer for $499 that includes 1 year of internet access dial-up. I think it'll go down even lower. To us so it's not so much having a computer, it's what you do with the computer, where. It's also saying, where are the portals? Because I don't believe we're really interested in how many more Latino portals. You can find Latino dance nightclubs, or you can find African American businesses. I think that's part of it, but I think the defining element is how communities deal with the construction of knowledge, how they define what their history is as a community and as a people, and from there, how they struggle to define themselves, placing themselves in a larger context, of course, in sort of the continuum of history. To me, that's the important thing. And one of the things we've talked about, certainly at the Cultural Center, is not only the control of knowledge, but certainly the question that comes out of that is, if you don't control knowledge, who controls it? And by controlling it, how do you access it? How are you able to say, here at the center we have 3 principles that we try to found every program, create every program. It's self-actualization, self-sufficiency, and self-determination. Those are sort of high and mighty sounding words, but part of how we put them into practice is saying, okay, it's easy to say, or it's important to know that we're going to stumble in the creation of programs. But it's just as important, and perhaps much more important to say, you have a group of people that are determined to build a vision. That's why the library is not about the library. It's not just having books, not even having books about people of color, third world, or minority communities. It's saying that there's a history that we've been denied, that we're trying to access, and at the same time, we're building a history here along Paseo Boricua that can contribute to, once it's accessible, and that hence the webpage and the inquiry page, to a continuum of knowledge. I don't believe it's separatist or isolationist. In fact, I believe that there's so much more that we can contribute, but that's the struggle. It's about resources, it's about access of knowledge, it's about having the wherewithal to be able to say, there's a group of people who will go to great odds to make sure that we place ourselves back in the page of in history. Amilcar Cabral, one of the most famous African revolutionaries and theoreticians of Guinea-Bissau, once said that the colonialists have taken us out of history. Our job, therefore, is to reinsert ourselves into history.